Alright guys, again I am working from Galvanize where it's pretty loud, so I apologize for the noise. Here we go with the jaw part. So we created the eyes last and we want to actually create the jaw here. So to create the jaw we can actually go from the side view. I'll just kind of pop out of here with my spacebar, pop into my side view. And I'm going to align this. And basically what I can do is go up to skeleton, down to the joint tool. I'm going to click that. I'm going to open this up in full screen a little bit. And I'm going to start from the head joint. The reason I'm going to start from the head joint is that I want to draw from the head joint in order for the jaw to move along with the head. So if our character does a no, head turn, head nod, if it does a yes, head turn, head nod, the jaw will follow along with it, but it will have the opportunity to allow us to open up the jaw separately from everything else. And the way that I can do that is by clicking here on the head joint. And I'm going to make a part where the jaw is actually moving. So if you guys feel your jawbone when you talk, you can click and drag to the approximate area or location of where your jaw would drop. Okay? Something like that for our character might suffice. It's even okay to bring it up this way, like that. Okay? Now where our jaw comes down is going to be in between this area right here, it feels like. And for your characters it might be a little bit different. If you have more of a drop jaw, if you have a higher jaw, if this jaw goes out or deforms in a different way just because of the design of the character, then those are all things to take into consideration. Now I'm going to draw another one here, down this way. I could put it towards the chin, or I could even put it towards the mouth right here, the lips. And this is basically going to be for the character to, when this joint behind it, the previous joint, rotates, it'll move like this, allowing the character to drop his jaw. Okay? So it doesn't matter whether we put it right up here or if we put it down here. It's really going to be up to you. You could even put it in the middle. And I can hold down my middle mouse button to relocate a joint that I am currently drawing out. And I can put this down here like such. And when I tap the up arrow, you're going to see I can select that, and basically the way this is going to work, and let me click on this again, is that this will affect the jaw. Now, the upper part of our mouth does not move. Depending on your character, it might. And there's different methodologies for doing this. You can actually set more joints up around here if you're doing like a game rig. That way it deforms the mouth opposed to using blend shapes like we're going to use. And you can actually do some of the blend shapes and take them across into Unity or one of those programs, Unreal, or you can do it by joint-driven facial movements. Okay? Neither one is wrong, it's just going to be more of a preference, and you can actually do a mixture of both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out of here real quick and pop back into my perspective view just by tapping the spacebar. Take a little look at this, and you do want to make sure that you rotate these joints. So I'll hit F8 on my keyboard, and I am going to have to hit Control spacebar to get back into this regular viewing mode where my UI is laid out. And I need to click on this guy. Okay? I do need this miscellaneous object showing so that I can see the rotations. And I am going to have to rotate these to be friendly with the previous rotations that we've done on the spine and such. Now if you would like to do it from a different view, by all means go ahead. I like to go into the side view and different views to try to get this to line up. It's almost there. Okay, it's going to be close enough for this. This one I do want you guys to line up in the same fashion because I am requiring this for your final. I'm going to get this one to be a little more flat like that, and get your, let me pop out of here to make sure that I'm doing this right, and I got that a little bit offset. I'm going to drag it this way. I need to get that Z lined up. And you can see that the orthographic views really help out with that. Now I didn't use the snapping functionality that I showed you guys before, and I probably should have in hindsight, but it's okay. You can see that you can get a lot of the same rotations and such based off of your different orthographic views. So X needs to be out this way. I want to see that on your fingertips. I want to see that on your other joints like this and the skull and all that good stuff, because that's kind of a industry way of working. It's not usually or always having to be that way, but I do want you guys to work in a nice fashion to where you guys have the opportunity to use any of the end joints for something else and they're already in a ready form rotation wise. Okay, so I did add those parts, and this is going to take us into the skinning process where I'm going to have to decipher how to skin this bottom part of the jaw to follow these joints, and I'm going to decide basically at that time whether this is going to have to be skinned to this joint or just this joint, and I'm going to explain that as we work on the next section. So for this part, it looks as though this is going to be sufficient for what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and save this as something else, and I always do incremental saves. So I was working with the eyes last, setting up the eye joints and such. I'll call this one jaw, and I will change the date because it's 3rd today. So make sure you guys are saving legacy files, iterations. In the next tutorial, we're going to get along with how to do the skinning process.